December 31st, 2019. We made it. Hey, it's Heather Chauvin, wife, mother of 3 boys, former social worker, breadwinner, recovering hustler, and stage 4 cancer survivor. I'm not a fan of that term, by the way. Beyond all of these titles and labels, I'm a human being, just like you, attempting to navigate it all while feeling good. My goal on this podcast is to show you that you can live an energized, sustainable life both at home and in your work. It doesn't matter if you stay at home full-time, if you work from home, you're a CEO, a successful business owner, or trying to find some inspiration. On this show, I attempt to keep it real with stories, interviews, and random thoughts. This is not a business or career podcast, and it's not a parenting podcast. It's both and so much more. You will laugh. You may even cry, and you may even get a little frustrated with the truth you've been hiding from yourself. I believe all human behavior is a language, whether it's through your child's behavior, your health, or a relationship. And when we learn to listen instead of react, we begin to understand what it truly means to feel alive and in control. It's time to put your big girl pants on and find your brave. Let's go. We made it. And today I didn't want to do a year in review of the podcast. I didn't want to say 5 reflection questions that you need to do tonight to make sure you have an amazing 2020. I just wanted to give you a reflection of my last year through the adventure of the podcast. So this time last year, I decided I was going to make a commitment to podcasting every single day for 2019. And when I made that declaration to myself and I said it to you, I did not want to let you down. You are always my motivation to continuously show up because you're watching me and you're learning from me, and I'm a role model for you. That life can feel easy. Yes, sometimes difficult, but we do not need to live in a place of chronic suffering. And I was living in a place of censoring myself, even though you might think, Heather, how are you not censoring yourself? I still censor myself. But I wanted to be braver. I wanted to be bolder. And I've also discovered about myself that I'm a verbal processor, hence the reason why I love podcasting. So when I am speaking to myself, when I am speaking out, when I am sharing with you, I'm learning as the words are coming out of my mouth. And in 2020, I have decided to change things up, and I will let you know a little bit about that towards the end of the show. But looking back a year ago, and I'm just going to focus on this one instance of making this commitment, I had no idea what consistency of creating a podcast a day with, of course, the few weeks that I missed when I got sick, excuse me, and the odd day here or there that I missed. Showing up consistently changed my message. Showing up consistently changed my confidence. Showing up consistently had me stop worrying about fear of judgment and continuously just push through and take the action. I told myself, I'm going to create this system and it's going to be, easy and I'm going to have weeks of content in advance. That did not happen. That did not happen because I still struggle, suffer. I'm still challenged with procrastination in the sense where my brain will go, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to do. And even if I pre-plan, even if I know exactly the topic that I need to talk about, the inspiration doesn't come sometimes until I have a fire under my ass. So that may always be something that I'm managing, but the awareness of that is key. We are all perfect. We're already perfect. I don't even like the saying of we're imperfect beings. We're already perfect. And I want to continue and refine that skill. So I reflect and go, what worked, what didn't work, why didn't it work? And accepting that's who I am. If you gave me a microphone and said, Heather, you're on stage, I could pull shit out of my ass and do a speech. But if you said, okay, you have to sit down, you have to plan this, you have to use a spreadsheet, you have to blah, 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 that's not me. So, of course, I have a team in place to do that, but I'm so inspired by the moment and the emotional current of what is going on in my reality and the reality of others that I like to be inspired when I'm creating content. So, it's always a challenge. There is no such thing as balance. You all know by now, I believe that is bullshit. But it's this creative dance that you do with your muse. When you choose to make a commitment to something, you're not giving up on it. You're respecting it. You're challenging your mind and your body and your soul to show up, to show up, to show up. And as I've continued to do that, I pull back the veil. I pull it off slowly and look at my truth. And my truth is I can seek a lot of external validation of people saying, Heather, you're awesome. You're doing this. You've changed my life. But on the inside, we have to know that we are good enough. So through the action of consistency, I have been able to look at myself and take this skill and say, where else in my life can I create consistency? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, just for 5 minutes a day. Even in the moment, if you say this does not make an impact, but you look back a month and you go, oh my goodness, if I would have just done that for 5 minutes a day, look how far I would have gotten. And so because I committed 2019 to kind of the year of consistency and showing up and not censoring myself as much, I now can build on the next layer and the next level of what this year has taught me. And so today, I kind of wanted to reflect on 2019 and talk a little bit about the law of inspired action. The last few days, I've been picking one of the laws, the 12 universal laws, and today I wanted to talk about the law of inspired action. You've heard me say it before again and again and again. Action is where the magic happens. If it's not happening in your life, if you are not taking action on what you desire, nothing will come of it. Simple as that. Just because you bought the book, just because you're listening to the podcast, just because you're attending the conference or the course, does not mean your life will change. It's what you learn in those courses. It's what you learn at that conference. And when you leave and implement, that is when magic happens. And the only thing that gets in our way is resistance. And so the law of inspired action talks about we need to know our vision. We need to know where we're going, what we want and desire. And we also need to be consciously aware of our thoughts and the stories that we're telling ourselves. But in order to get there, we need to know, what action do I want to take that's going to light me up? And although I was nervous to say yes to a podcast a day for a whole year, I did it. Because when I thought about it, it inspired me. It lit me up. So just know that what you want and desire is on the other side of fear. It's on the other side of resistance. And the more you dive in to those uncomfortable actions, the more magic will happen. So in 2020, my team and I have decided collectively that we will scale the podcast back to maybe only 2 or 3 days a week. And we're going to take a few weeks to get the momentum. We will still have interviews, and I will probably have a shorter podcast on Friday. And we may also still keep the Sunday week in review. I'm also going to be writing my book in 2020, and I want you to come along for that journey. So we have some big things planned for you. but I want your feedback. I want to know, how do you want to get committed? How do you want to participate? How do you want to be involved? This evolution around mom is in control is way bigger than me. I realize now that I'm a community curator for this movement and revolution, that I want all women to know we can feel energized. We can be abundant. We can have the time and the energy and the money and the health and relationships that we desire. It's going to take vulnerability. It is going to take some hard ass effort and recovery and rest. And you will be challenged mentally. You will want to cry. You will want to give up. But we don't need to hustle here to kill ourselves. We can hustle slowly, as one of my clients said. Resting, restoring, looking deeper, healing our trauma and our wounds, and growing together. I'm right there with you. I may be a few steps ahead, but I'm committed to this process. So I want you to know you are not alone. You are not broken. You are worthy of what you want and desire, even if that is something as simple as a bubble bath or a 10-minute walk. There are people around you willing to help. Free resources, but you have to see that they are available. You are worthy of your desires. You are worthy of feeling good. So, in your honor and to celebrate a year of consistency, I am committing myself, Heather Chauvet, to 2020 as the year of how good can it get, where I continue to challenge my own resistance to becoming the woman, wife, mother, and human being that I want to be in my life, not who the world wants me to be. And I can already tell you I'm being challenged. Stepping up my physical game, meaning how I want to look, how I want to dress, even if people judge me. How my husband and I want to educate our children, even if it's unconventional. How we want to spend our time and our money and invest and travel. Everything is unconventional. And that's okay, because I'm not here to be normal. I'm not here to be mainstream or mediocre. I'm here to feel alive. And this past year, I've had to work through a lot of guilt and privilege. And what I realized is playing small doesn't serve anybody. I can walk by somebody, maybe on the streets, and feel so guilty for what I've been able to create in my life. But feeling small doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve that person that I walked by. So what can I do instead to create possibility and opportunity for myself and this other individual? They may not be open to hearing that change is possible. It could be a friendly smile. It could be a $2 coffee card that I gave them. Something. Love, compassion, attention, a quick acknowledgement that they exist and matter in the world. So I know these challenges will still come up this year, but again, I am committed to how good can it get? How much can I give? How much can I serve? How much can I save? How much can I impact? All while filling my cup first. So thank you again for making 2019 a kick-ass year. I am so incredibly grateful for you. It brings me to tears, and I'm really excited to see what we create in 2020. According to a study published on Fast Company, conducted at the University of Kansas, women are burning out at an alarming rate, even before having children. And that number rises with the additional responsibility of raising a family. And the gap between ambition and putting themselves in a position for promotion isn't going anywhere. Why, you ask? The world needs more empowered mothers, women who are willing to unlearn everything that they've been taught, women who are courageous enough to feel good and not feel guilty for it. I am living proof that you can feel alive, energized, peaceful, and put yourself on your own damn to-do list and make an even bigger impact in your children's lives and those around you. I want to show you how to think, how to act, how to behave, so you can step into that version of you that has been screaming for your attention. And the best part is, all you have to do is take the next step and invest 2 minutes of your time and book a complimentary call with someone on my team to see if my community and coaching is the right fit for your big vision. The relationships you desire, the money, time, and energy that you know deep down you are capable of creating. So head on over to heatherchauvin.com/let's talk. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/let's talk. LETSTALK. And take the next step in the right direction. You are here because you were born to make a difference. Taking a stand for how you feel means you are taking a stand for how your children show up as adults. You've got this. Let's go.